I have been grinning ear to ear since the end of Survivor Series, so let's talk about it. For the first time in my life, it generally felt like WWE went into my brain, took everything I wanted, and gave all of it to me within a span of 15 minutes. But before we get into all of that, we gotta start with our first match of the night, which was the Women's War Game match, which was Shotzi, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Bianca Belair versus Damage Control, obviously without Dakota Kai. I thought this was a great match to start the night with because honestly it had everything you needed. It had tension between both teams as you had Charlotte and Becky Lynch having their own tension on their side, the tension between Damage Control and potentially kicking out Bayley soon. It was honestly a phenomenal match to start with. But before we move on to the next match, I gotta bring up that moment with Io Sky where she put the trash can on herself and she jumped down and just landed on everybody. It was absolutely awesome. I'm gonna give this match an A to start the night. But the next match to talk about is Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar, which honestly was overall solid. I mean, it's hard for these guys to have a bad match, and it was really great to see Santos Escobar get the win. Although if I had to give a critique, I feel like it wasn't long enough, but when you realize all the stuff that built up into the final match of the night, I'm not surprised. But yeah, once again, very solid match. I'd give it a B+. I thought the match itself was great. Santos was great. Dragon Lee was great, but you know, let's give him a little bit more time next time. The next match to talk about is the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all times versus the current greatest Intercontinental Championship reign of all time, Gunther versus The Miz. That was a mouthful. But seriously, this match was great. I like the concept that The Miz was like, you know what? The best way to take down Gunther is you got to take out his legs so we just can't use him for the rest of the match, and that's how I'm going to beat this guy. Overall, it was a solid match. Another match I think just needed a little bit more time, and it did kind of suck to watch The Miz tap out, but I mean, we've seen him tap out before. It wasn't like some crazy once-in-a-lifetime thing to watch. But yeah, I would have liked to see a little bit more time, but overall, very solid match. I'm going to give this one an A-. And I know, I'm critiquing all these matches saying this needed more time, that needed more time. Listen, in the end of the day, what happened in the end, if that was where the time was dedicated, sure, I'm fine with that. The next matchup to talk about was the WWE Women's World Championship match, Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark. This match was fine. I mean, it wasn't like anything incredible. We obviously know both performers probably could have done a little bit more if they had a little bit more build-up, which they really just didn't have the build-up there. That was why I feel like this match kind of fell flat for me. Overall, I'm going to give it a B-. I would give it a B-, but I'm in such a good mood because of the next match. I'm going to give it a B. But for future reference, can we put some more effort into the Rhea Ripley feuds? I feel like sometimes they just throw these matches out there. And the final match of the night was Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, and Jey Uso teaming up with the returning Randy Orton to take on Judgment Day, who was teaming up with Drew McIntyre. Now let's start with a little bit of build-up of why this match was so special. We didn't know for weeks on end who was going to be the fifth member, and then the week before Survivor Series, this last Monday's Raw, we found out it was going to be the returning Randy Orton. A lot of fans were like, wait, why did they tell us? Why didn't they just save the surprise? Guys, we're in Chicago. If there's a mystery partner, they're going to chant CM Punk louder than anyone could ever imagine. Rightfully so. But then, throughout the night of Survivor Series, we're progressively getting more and more information that Randy hadn't been there yet, which then sparks the CM Punk rumors in all of our heads going, oh my god, it's going to be CM Punk, it's going to be CM Punk. And then the fifth member for Cody Rhodes' team, the clock ticks down, and here he's got to come, and no one came out. But then all of a sudden, here comes Rhea Ripley with the Money in the Bank, and everyone's like, oh my god, Seth just got put through a table. The Money in the Bank, he's going to cash in, and he's going to win the World Heavyweight title. But then the music hits. The voices in our heads, it hits. Here comes Randy Orton looking in the best physical shape I've ever seen him in. He comes in, he cleans house. We get some good moments with everybody doing Randy Orton's vintage DDT, and then an RKO throwing JD McDonough from the top of the cage, and Randy Orton hitting his trademark RKO to him, which then led to Randy tossing Damian Priest into the hands of his mentee Cody Rhodes for Cody Rhodes to hit the Crossroads and the win. And if it all ended there, we would have been happy. We would have been fine. We would have been enthusiastic saying, guys, I can't wait to watch Raw this Monday because Randy Orton is back, right? And now I know some people were thinking, oh, maybe there's going to be a heel turn. Maybe there's going to be an RKO to Jey Uso because they did touch on that a little bit, not as much as I'm sure some fans would like to. But then all of a sudden, Cult of Personality hits, and CM Punk is here in Chicago back in the WWE. Now I know there's some controversy involving this return. Like, let's be honest, it's CM Punk, of course there is. But let's just put this point out there that literally nobody knew about this, so you can't even blame all the reporters that are saying, no, CM Punk's not coming back. He's not. The main eventers didn't find out until right before the match. But controversy or not, it didn't change the fact that the inner child in us that watched this man when we were younger, all the nostalgia just flowed up and we just couldn't believe our eyes. CM Punk, after almost, I believe, 10 years, is back in WWE. But now the question is, where does Phil go from here? Phil Brooks being CM Punk, if you never knew that. But where does he go from here? It seems like there's going to be a feud with Seth Rollins at some point. There's also been hintings of Shinsuke Nakamura needing a new opponent, and he hit the GTS. There's so many different ways we go with this, and I will touch on that in another video. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed watching Survivor Series War Games last night, because honestly, I have not smiled that much watching a WWE pay-per-view in so long. But please let me know if you guys want to see more videos like this, or let me know what kind of videos you want to see. Let me know what your reaction was like to WWE Survivor Series War Games, whatever the title of the event is, and let me know it in the comments below. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.